Chapter 91. A day has since passed. Remote replication. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. The way to consume the crystal demonic orchid was not that difficult. It just needed to be uprooted, washed, then swallowed. Hope this thing will make my arcana replication undergo the second arcana awakening. Ling Jiu took a deep breath and swallowed a crystal demonic orchid. A moment later, a cold sensation rose within his abdomen, up to the top of his head, then engulfing his entire brain. Right now, Ling Jiu felt as if he were in a trance, finding himself inside a snowy world with tornadoes ravaging all around. Suddenly, he was engulfed by a tornado as tall as several hundred meters. The rapid spinning motion left Ling Jiu disoriented and dizzy. Because of the motion sickness, he felt like he was going to throw up. Blarg. He did not know how long it had passed. When he felt he was on the ground again, his head was spinning. His mouth stank of sourness. When he looked down, he saw his vomit on the ground. Ling Jiu forced a smile. The crystal demonic orchid was very effective, but its side effects, illusion and nausea, were terrible. Is my arcana replication awakened? He took a deep breath. The next moment, he felt the world spin around him and he was in an unfamiliar place. It was a pitch-dark, mysterious dimension. He could see nothing but a light in the center of the darkness. It was a giant golden light sphere, suspended in the darkness and emitting beams of golden light. It was the only light source in this mysterious dark world. How big was it? He could not tell. It looked very big, but also tiny. Surrounding the golden light sphere were 4 or 5 smaller ones. One was black. One was yellowish-brown. One was colorless and transparent. One was dark silver. One was bright silver. They were all silently revolving around the golden light sphere, much like the Earth, Mars, Venus, and other planets circled the Sun. What is this? My arcana. Is the golden light sphere in the center representing arcana replication, and the 5 smaller ones the 5 other replicated arcana? Just when he was about to study these light spheres further, a ripping force hit him, and the next moment, his consciousness returned to his body. Was that my arcana? He mumbled to himself as the earlier images kept appearing in his mind. The question is, has my arcana replication undergone the second arcana awakening? He could now see the mysterious dimension that he had not seen previously. Did that mean his arcana replication's second awakening had been successful? I'll try it again when I go back. He rinsed his mouth with water, then dug out the rest of the crystal demonic orchids, and kept them in the dimensional pockets. There were 3 crystal demonic orchids growing here. He had swallowed one, leaving him with 2. They were good stuff. The crystal demonic orchids were premium treasure of heaven and earth, each worth $50 billion and 500 contribution points. 2 of them were worth a total of $100 billion and 1,000 contribution points. Hence, they could be sold if they were not needed. That meant he could make a handsome profit again. How nice if this happens every day. Ling Jiu muttered, then checked his cell for time. He was shocked. It was February 10th, Saturday, September 31st. Saturday. Today is already Saturday. Ling Jiu was wide-eyed. After taking a crystal demonic orchid, time has flown from Friday morning to Saturday morning. Darn it, I screwed up big time, wasting a day of time. He was upset about losing a good whole day. But it was water under the bridge, no point crying over spilled milk. All he could do now was make the best of the remaining time by killing as many class 6 dire beasts as possible. I have got to hurry. At the end of the day, he dragged his exhausted body back to the training camp, and handed over the dire beasts. When he checked the time again, it was exactly 18:00. Phew. I'm exhausted. He almost slumped on the ground. After hunting in overdrive mode to make up the lost time, he was worn out. But at least he recovered some lost ground. I did my best. Hope the result won't be so bad. He exhaled, then headed toward his hostel. Right then, something surprised him when a trainee walked past. Name: Emmanuel Fett's race. Human Arcana. X.Ray Vision, Awakened, Replicable, Metal Manipulation, Awakened, Replicable. Ling Jiao was struck dumb. Did that mean his Arcana replication was usable again? He thought there was still half a month to go before the cooling-off period expired. Besides, he did not have physical contact with the target. Yet he could read his info. While he was in a daze, that trainee had walked away, and the golden text in his mind's eyes disappeared. He picked up his pace to catch up with that trainee. Coming within 5 meters of that trainee, the golden text of his Arcana replication popped up again. Name: Emmanuel Fett's race. Human Arcana. X.Ray Vision, Awakened, Replicable, Metal Manipulation, Awakened, Replicable. Holy moly. I can do remote detection now. He was incredibly excited. The cooling-off period should not have expired, but I can use my Arcana replication. What does this mean? This means my Arcana replication has become stronger. Not only that I can replicate an Arcana remotely, the cooling-off period is also shortened. Cool. The Crystal Demonic Orchid is indeed a natural deep awakening potion. I made it. I have got to go back, find the trainee's information, and choose a suitable Arcana. He hurried back to his hostel and saw Shi Gang sitting in front of the computer. Oh, you're back, Ling Jiao. Shi Gang let out a smile at seeing him. Yeah, I am back. He dropped himself on the bed. How was your day, Shi Gang? I mean the hunting. His voice was listless. Not that you don't know me. I could kill class .6 dire beasts with my flame, but doing it alone is too dangerous. I had to be careful with every step. Shi Gang forced a smile. What I got from the last 3 days of hunting is less than when we were in a team. I see. Ling Jiao gave a nod of acknowledgement. Shi Gang's flame was extremely lethal, but his self-defense was just not up to snuff. If a pissed-off class .6 dire beast targeted him, he would be a dead man. A mage-like arcanist like Shi Gang was too reliant on teammates. He needed someone tougher to protect him. How about you? Shi Gang asked. Barely get by. Ling Jiao shook his head. By the way, what are you looking at? The personal details of the trainees. Shi Gang explained. I am looking for someone to form a team with me. I can't help it with my Arcana. Personal details of the trainees. Ling Jiao cocked an eyebrow, looking surprised. You have their personal details. Where did you steal it from? I don't need to steal. Shi Gang rolled his eyes. The trainee list has been pasted on the company's website, complete with the details of trainee. Ling Jiao. Chapter 92. Replicate again, internal strength banishes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation Ling Ying. 16, from Beijing Base City. Arcana. Vaporization, Water Manipulation Yuguang. 15, from Modu Base City. Arcana. Stealth, Fire Manipulation Zhouji. 17, from Beijing Base City. Arcana. Division, Hypnotization, Ultimate Alchemy. No wonder Zhou Ji's kill of dire beasts is so efficient. He has triple Arcana. That's badass. But what kind of ability is Ultimate Alchemy? Ling Jiao tapped open this Arcana and found that the Ultimate Alchemy was a buggy ability that could convert any substance into metal. Awesome! Ling Jiao exclaimed in awe. The division, hypnotization, ultimate alchemy is an impeccable dire beast-killing combo. No wonder Zhou Ji's hunting is so efficient. Of course, this is yet the best combo. If he could gain the metal or magnetic manipulation arcana, he would be truly invincible. Who can beat him if he has an ultimate alchemy, metal manipulation, magnetic field, division, hypnotization combo? The division and the ultimate alchemy arcana are two not bad abilities. Jot them down. He then moved on. Christopher Adam. 16, from Washington Base City, Arcana. Supersonic Shift, Angelization. Hirano Hitaki. 17, St. Paul Base City, Arcana. Superphysique, Vibration Arcana. Superphysique. Ling Jiao tapped open this arcana. Superphysique. Tenfold physical strength, tenfold speed, tenfold agility, tenfold endurance, tenfold defense, tenfold self-healing, tenfold energy, tenfold eyesight, tenfold hearing, tenfold olfactory reception, and tenfold night vision. Holy moly! That's sick. Ling Jiao was awestruck. Physical strength, agility, endurance, defense, self-healing, and energy are 10 times higher than that of the ordinary arcanists. That's buggy. But I don't like it. He really did not like it. Superphysique was awesome. With each attribute having a tenfold increase in strength, when combined, the resulting combat strength was absolutely higher than a factor of 10. The problem was, Ling Jiao had many other better options. Was 100-fold physical strength not more powerful? Was 100-fold speed not faster? Was 100-fold agility not better? So why would he want to replicate the 10-fold one? Pass. Next. He moved on. Transmission. This sounds good to me. I can only perform a short distance teleportation, that's only within 200 meters. Transmission sounds like the longer range version of teleportation. Keep it in view. Cancer infliction. EFF. Such a disgusting arcana. Body diamondization. Sounds darn good. With this arcana, I will no longer have to worry about money. X.ray vision. Super healing. Perform gene.level manipulation to heal illnesses through touch. This sounds good. Electronic eye. Absorb solar, wind, and sound energy to shoot them out from the eyes as electron shock. Wave attacks. It was an eye opener for Ling Jiao after reading all the trainee information. Like the saying goes, no two eggs are alike, and no two arcana are the same. He looked at his little notebook, on which he had jotted down the details of a dozen arcana. Among them were Ai Yuha's dimension manipulation, On Ling Er's 5-element manipulation and 5-element annihilation, Zhou Ji's ultimate alchemy in 10,000-fold gene arcana. Each of these was an extremely powerful arcana. With each arcana replicated, Ling Jiao would become stronger, better, and buggier. The question was, which arcana should he replicate first? The tungsten form, teleportation combo enables me to kill class 0.6 dire beast with the snap of a finger. But using 8-fold rolling thunder drains too much energy. So the right thing to do is to fix this flaw first. At last, he chose the 10,000-fold gene arcana, which was crazily more powerful than Chang Jiandong's 100-fold gene arcana. Ling Jiao would have 10,000 times higher gene arcana than normal with this ability. I can keep on and on hunting dire beasts without breaking a sweat with enough gene arcana. Thinking of this, he searched for the trainee who possessed the 10,000-fold gene arcana. It was a she, who stayed in room 302. Where are you going, Ling Jiao? Just get some fresh air. As Ling Jiao came in front of room 302, he saw in his mind's eye the details of the two female trainees. Name: Juliana Bodley Race. Human Arcana. Metal Manipulation, Awakened, Replicable, Acid Squirt, Awakened, Replicable, Name: Janet Ferguson Race. Human Arcana. 10,000-fold Gene Arcana, awakened, replicable, superpower, awakened, replicable, replicate the 10,000-fold Gene Arcana. As he instructed, the little golden text left his body and disappeared into room 302 before it came back after a moment. Replication was successful. Should he install it? No. He hurried back to his room, locked himself in the bathroom, then turned on the faucet, letting it run to create noise. Gang shot a glance toward the bathroom, not suspecting anything. Ling Jiu had just returned from the wilderness. He should take a shower. Install. A violent burst of energy rose within him and swept through his organs, body, and every cell. Cell alteration was underway. This was an alteration on the cellular level. The violent energy was changing every cell in his body. The alteration brought great pain to him, from head to toe, then spreading all over his body. EFF. This happens every time. It is driving me nuts. He gritted his teeth, trying hard not to make a sound as waves of pain hit him. But it was unbearable. The good thing was, the pain went away just as quick as it came. 10 minutes later, it went away like a receding tide. He panted like a dog as he pulled himself to his feet. He checked his body and got the shock of his life. All his Gene Arcana in the body was gone. Yes. It was gone, disappearing into thin air without a trace. What the hell? Ling Jiu was dumbfounded. The Gene Arcana was supposed to live in his meridians, which was empty now. He could not even find a trace of the Gene Arcana in gaseous form, let alone in liquid form. Where the hell is my Gene Arcana? He was appalled. I have only replicated the 10,000-fold Gene Arcana. How could all my internal Gene Arcana disappear? His internal Gene Arcana was supposed to spike after he replicated this Arcana, not like now where it had decreased to 0. What the hell is going on? Chapter 93. False Alarm, Ranked Top 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Ling Jiu became desperate. He quickly performed Sea of 100 Rivers to absorb the rich Gene Arcana within 1,000-meter radius of him. But to his horror, no matter how much Gene Arcana he absorbed into his body, it would not stay longer than 3 seconds before disappearing. Absorbed then disappeared, absorbed then disappeared. It was as if there was a big hole on his body. He tried the same thing for almost half a day and yet his meridians were still empty. What the hell is going on? He got a little mad. With his microcomputer, he looked up the information about the 10,000-fold Gene Arcana, trying to figure out what had gone wrong. He breathed a long sigh of relief. EFF. It scared the hell out of me just now. Ling Jiu wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Now he knew why his Gene Arcana had disappeared, it was the fault of the cells. Apparently, ordinary arcanists stored their Gene Arcana in the meridians, not in the cells. But those who possessed 10,000-fold Gene Arcana had very unique cells. Their Gene Arcana were not stored only in the meridians, but also the cells. Specifically, cells became their main warehouse to store Gene Arcana. How many cells a human body contain? So the amount of Gene Arcana the cells could hold far surpassed that of the meridians. Because of this, arcanists of 10,000-fold Gene Arcana had such a large storage capacity for Gene Arcana. I got it now. He exhaled, feeling relieved. At first, he suspected that something had gone wrong with his body. But that was not the case. It was his body cells that had eaten his internal strength. It was just a false alarm. He continued to capture Gene Arcana from his surroundings. The Gene Arcana were immediately gobbled up by the cells after entering his body. But Ling Jiu no longer panicked. Absorbed then divided, absorbed then divided. He greedily captured the Gene Arcana within 1,000-meter radius of him, much like a black hole sucking in all matters. But no matter how much he took in, his meridians were still empty. It was Sunday afternoon when Shi Gang awoke Ling Jiu. It is 5:50, Ling Jiu. The leaderboard will be updated soon. Let's get down there. Ling Jiu opened his eyes, looking miserable. He had been busy absorbing gene arcana without eating or drinking for a day, yet his meridians were still empty. He did not know what to make of it. Forget it. I might as well go to take a walk. If every goes well, I would make it to the top of the list. By then, I can fill up my meridians while inside the 12 underground chambers. He got up, his stomach growling in protest. So he took out a pack of dried meat and took a quick bite before following Shi Gang downstairs. Most of the trainees had gathered there. Ai Yuha and Yangling.er had also arrived, walking toward him. Long time no see. Ling Jiu said hello. He ran a quick calculation in his mind, realizing that he had not seen these two pretty lasses for a week since he had returned from the wilderness last Saturday. Long time no see. The two girls replied with a nod. How were things going this week? Ling Jiu smiled at them. A little better than last time, Ayuha said. How about you? A little better than last time. Ling Jiu replied. While you all are better than last time, I am worse this time around. Shi Gang pulled a face. Here we go. The leaderboard has been updated. There was an uproar instantly. The leaderboard has been updated. Ling Jiu looked up at the leaderboard, so did Ai Yuha, Yangling.er and Shi Gang. Number 1. Zhou Ji, 1,690,000. Number 2. Christopher Adam, 1,550,000. Number 3. Ling Jiu, 1,540,000. Third place. Ling Jiu nodded. Just like what I expected. He perfectly knew how many dire beasts he had killed. 72 class .6 dire beasts on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and 80 on Saturday after stretching himself to the limit. He had hunted 154 class .6 dire beasts in 3 days, making his score 1,540,000. This was 40,000 points higher than Zhou Ji's result of last week. But apparently, Zhou Ji was not standing still either, his score had increased by 190,000. So, Zhou Ji was in first place again. But this will be his last. Ling Jiu clenched his fists. I will be top 1 next time. Ling Jiu has made it to third place. You only got 615,000 points last time, but this time, you got 1.54 million points. So you had concealed your true strength while we were in a team, eh? Ai Yuha sounded surprised. Ling Jiu let out an awkward smile and quickly steered away the conversation. How about you this time? 9th place. Ai Yuha broke out in a smile. 9th place was no way near 3rd place, but she was happy to get access to the 12 underground chambers for self-cultivation. Ling Jiu moved his eyes to 9th place on the leaderboard. There, he saw Ai Yuha's name. Her score was 890,000 points, a 50% jump from her previous score. It was Yang Ling Er's score that surprised him. She had got 920,000 points, higher than what Ai Yuha got, which was incredible. As badass as Yang Ling Er's ability was, she was wheelchair-bound. The fact that she had hunted dire beasts alone and got this result was absolutely impressive. You 3 are in 3rd, 8th, and 9th place while I have dropped below the 100 mark. No one else beats me in terms of performance decline. Shi Gang was almost tearful. Ling Jiu was in consternation and could not help look up at the leaderboard. It took him a while before he found Shi Gang's name on the list at 139th place. Number 139. Shi Gang, 389,000. The drop in ranking was indeed huge. The difference was too big. Ling Jiu wanted to say some words of comfort, but did not know how. Besides, he did not want to appear to be showing off, and so he thought the better of it. How about we have dinner together? Ling Jiu said. Sure. Ai Yuha and Yang Ling.er nodded. Let's eat. Ling Jiu came to the 12 underground chambers on time at night, when everyone had also arrived. Climbing from 9th to 3rd place is a vast improvement, Ling Jiu. Zhou Ji initiated the conversation. Nothing beats you, 2-time champion. Ling Jiu gave a smile. I heard that the reward for a 3-consecutive first place is damn handsome. Not consecutive but cumulative. Zhou Ji's eyes flashed. Anyone who tops the list for thrice will get some fat reward. A secret manual of the ultimate gene arcana worth 1,000 contribution points, an ultimate treasure of heaven and earth worth 1,000 contribution points, and an ultimate gene arcana potion worth 1,000 contribution points. Cool. Ling Jiu was wide-eyed. This is not all. The reward will be even crazier for anyone who accumulates 6-time, or even 9-time first place. Chapter 94. Where Strength Lies, filled up at last. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Ling Jiu was intrigued. An Ultimate Gene Arcana Secret Manual worth 1,000 contribution points. An Ultimate Treasure of Heaven and Earth worth 1,000 contribution points. An Ultimate Gene Arcana Potion worth 1,000 contribution points. That's munificent. Ling Jiu was delirious. There was no need to say more about the Ultimate Gene Arcana Secret Manual. The 1,000 contribution points alone were not something money could buy. Yet it was given out as a reward here. The same went to the Ultimate Treasure of Heaven and Earth worth 1,000 contribution points. The Ice Hollow Weed was just an intermediate treasure of heaven and earth, and the Crystal Demonic Orchid was just a premium one. One could already imagine how precious an ultimate treasure of heaven and earth was. And then there was the Ultimate Gene Arcana Potion that was also worth 1,000 contribution points. Water of Life, a potion which could only extend longevity by 30 years, was just a premium Gene Arcana Potion. So how much more precious was an Ultimate Gene Arcana Potion? Any of these three items could not be bought with money, however rich one was. But in the super training camp, they were given out as rewards. Was it not munificent? Absolutely. If the reward for winning first place thrice is this handsome, how much more handsome the reward is for 6-time and 9-time winnings. While Ling Jiu was weighing inside his mind the rewards, the alloy door to the 12 underground chambers opened. Zhou Ji led the way and walked in. Forget about the rewards for now. I had better make good use of the self-cultivation chamber to fill up my body with the rich gene arcana here. As he came to level 1 and walked into a self-cultivation room, he first picked up the vitality enhancement fluid and threw the content down his neck. After enduring a round of torment, he felt his body became stronger. His skin became tighter, his muscles stronger, his fascia tougher, his bones sturdier, his cells more active, his energy more abundant, and his vitality grew more exuberant. While gene arcana is important to an arcanist, the body was even more crucial. So each time we are given a bottle of vitality. Enhancement fluid. Ling Jiu was impressed. The benefits of a stronger physique were visible. Faster speed, better defensive ability, higher endurance, greater strength, clearer mental state and greater explosiveness. It will be good to have a bottle of vitality. Enhancement fluid every day. He then picked up the test tube containing the gene arcana. Enhancement fluid and drank it. Boom! There was a burst of gene arcana in his abdomen, like an outburst of flash flood. Its level of intensity was far higher than the effect of the intermediate gene arcana. Enhancement fluid he had taken last time. This is truly an advanced gene arcana. Enhancement fluid. It is more explosive than the intermediate one. He was amazed by it. But before he could regulate it, the level of his internal gene arcana rapidly dropped. 000 500 200 100 in a matter of minutes, his internal gene arcana disappeared completely, as if it had never been there. He checked his meridians, they were still empty. He found it amusing. It doesn't matter how explosive and efficacious it is just a drop in the ocean to my 10,000-fold gene arcana. He now witnessed how terrific this 10,000-fold gene arcana was. Its holding capability of the gene arcana was phenomenal. So much for the advanced gene arcana. Enhancement fluid. It could not even cause a ripple. I have only 3 days. I have got to make the best of it. He wasted no time and quickly performed Sea of 100 Rivers to capture the gene arcana from the surroundings. Gene arcana within 1,000 meter radius was stirred, rushing over and forming a thick layer of mist in the surroundings. Ling Jiu, as if he were a bottomless hole, absorbed the mist indiscriminately. There was a vortex formed above him. The gene arcana poured through the vortex into Ling Jiu's body, where an enormous amount of gene arcana was being devoured continuously. It is an understatement to say that the level of gene arcana concentration on level 1 is 100 times higher than on level 3. It is ridiculously high. Absorbed. Absorbed. Absorbed madly. Monday and Tuesday had passed just like that, yet his meridians were still empty. This threw Ling Jiu into desperation. He had absorbed the gene arcana relentlessly but still could not fill up his body cells. It was not until Wednesday afternoon that his body cells had had their fill and stopped taking in more gene arcana, and his meridians started to store some. Phew. Finally, they have had enough. Ling Jiu breathed a sigh of relief. But he still continued the gene arcana absorption. It was not until nearly 12 midnight that his meridians were filled up. Without the 12 underground chambers, it would have taken me a few years to fill my cells up. He sighed with satisfaction. I have so much gene arcana now that it won't dry out even with days and nights of use. Cool. He stretched and walked out of the self-cultivation chambers. Upon returning to his hostel, he took some quick bite and then crashed out on the bed. Chapter 95. A cat that transmigrated. Ad hoc mission. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was Thursday morning. Ling Jiu left the camp after breakfast, so too Shi Gang, Ayuha, Yangling.er, and other trainees. The night before, Shi Gang told Ling Jiu he had found a partner. Shi Gang mentioned that the guy was tall and well-built. Not only did he have gravity arcana, he also possessed super defense and power arcana. In other words, this fellow was a perfect human shield and support. Shi Gang and his partner could not wait to roll up their sleeves, so they left early in the morning. Ling Jiu wished them good luck. The weather was a little gloomy today as the sky was blanketed in thick dark clouds. It was hot and stuffy. It was going to rain soon. Ling Jiu went to deeper part of the wilderness to start another round of dire beast hunting. A minor accident had cost him first place last week. He told himself to refrain from repeating the same mistake this time. So this week, he wanted to go all out. Radar shows there are 5 Class .6 dire beasts up ahead. When Ling Jiu arrived near a lake, he saw a few giant lizards having fun on the crystal-clear water. Each of these lizards was 30 to 40 meters long. Their bodies were covered in scales with black and brown patterns. The coxcombs on their heads were especially eye-catching. It is coxcomb goldenback lizard. Not saying anything more, Ling Jiu lunged toward them and started a round of brutal killing. His punch struck like a round, penetrating a coxcomb goldenback lizard's head, killing it on the spot. The remaining 4 coxcomb goldenback lizards were transfixed for a second before going mad and pouncing at Ling Jiu. Shinra Tensei. A violent burst of repulsive force hit the 4 dire beasts, sending them flying out backward. Eightfold rolling thunder. It's done. He kept the giant lizards' bodies and moved on to find another batch of dire beasts. He was in a remote part of the wilderness where almost no class 5 but class .6 and class .7 dire beast existed. There are a few class .6 dire beasts in the northeast. There was a sudden rumble of thunder in the sky. A moment later, rain poured down, shrouding the wilderness in mist. Would the rain hinder his pace? Of course not. He took off his outer garment, leaving only short pants on. Ignoring the slapping of the rain on his skin, he lunged out toward those few class .6 dire beasts. It was the end of the day. After a day of hard work, at nightfall, Ling Jiu released his maglev airship and took a bath. I have hunted 90.8 class .6 dire beasts today. Mission accomplished. He did a stock count and was very pleased with his performance today. It felt so good to have the 10,000-fold gene arcana. It made him feel like a killing machine that could run 24/7. At the end of this endurance hunting, 98 class .6 dire beasts died at the hands of his. First place is mine. Ling Jiu let out a triumphant smile as he ripped open a pack of dried meat and started to eat. He might have an endless supply of gene arcana, but he still needed to replenish nutrients and energy. Meow. Just then, the low cry of a cat came. Ling Jiu's heart skipped a beat. A big cat, 1 meter long, appeared on the table, staring at the nutritional dried meat in his hand. See, celestial magical cat. Ling Jiu's mouth twitched. This is unbelievable. You are here again. Meow. Seeing no response from Ling Jiu, the cat meowed a couple of times more. BL***DYH**LL. Ling Jiu cursed in his mind. Feeling intimidated, he had to play a wildlife protector again. Here you go. Eat more. It aches me to see how skinny you are. Meow. The cat let out an upbeat cry and tucked in. After filling its stomach, it climbed into his bed and snoozed. BL***DYH**LL. The celestial magical cat left early the next morning. Ling Jiu had had enough. He did not want to see it again, less so sharing a room with such a dangerous class 8 dire beast for a night. So he piloted the maglev airship to fly a further distance before he continued his dire beast hunting. When he settled in for the night, he found a well-hidden cave and released his airship. That celestial magical cat will not come again today, I guess. Ling Jiu was pleased with himself as he swirled a wine glass in his hand, appreciating the fine 20-year-old Coca-Cola. Meow. His heart skipped a beat. As he turned his head and saw a familiar shadow, he nearly broke down. How the hell did the cat find him? He cursed in silence. But what more could he do? Chase it away. That was impossible, not in this life. He could only act nice and hand over the nutritional dried meat, hoping that after filling the big cat's stomach, it would not eat him. Ling Jiu was not as freaked out as before since the celestial magical cat had paid him a number of visits. It was only after food, not him. Things would be easier if that was the case. Ling Jiu got gutsy. This time, when he fed the celestial magical cat, he plucked up his courage to pat its furry head. The big cat did not attack him. Instead, it looked like it enjoyed his patting. This encouraged him further. He went from patting its head to stroking its back, then scratching its belly. Even then, the big cat did not seem to be attacking. What the hell? Is this a pussycat? Ling Jiu muttered. The behavior of this celestial magical cat was out of its character, unlike a true dire beast, less so class .8 dire beast. O.org dire beasts were vicious, not going well with humans. It would have been incredibly lucky if they did not attack humans. So no way they would cozy up to humans. But this big cat did not only cotton up to humans and ask them for food but also let Ling Jiu scratch its belly. How could this thing be a dire beast? Even domestic cats did not behave this way for strangers. Only strays in the parks that had gotten used to being fed by people might act this way. So could this thing be a stray that has transmigrated to this world? He looked on and cursed in his mind as this celestial magical cat enjoyed his patting. BL*****DYH**LL, pussycat. Joker, traitor of the dire beast world. I despise you. Having enough of patting, the celestial magical cat climbed onto his bed again, found its most comfortable position, and snoozed away. Get the hell out of my bed. This is my bed. How he wished he dared to shout these words out. But seeing the celestial magical cat sound asleep, he thought better of it. Fine. You can sleep here. Tonight, he hugged the big cat to sleep. It was nice to touch despite being notorious beast. The night passed without incident. When Ling Jiu woke up the next morning, his cell suddenly rang. All trainees take note, ad hoc mission announcement. All trainees take note, ad hoc mission announcement. All trainees take note, ad hoc mission announcement. A rainbow snake is spotted near Murray River in Mildura. Initial info points to a possible ultimate treasure of heaven and earth. All trainees are required to check it out immediately. The training camp will promise 2 million reward points for anyone capturing this rainbow snake. Rainbow snake. The ultimate treasure of heaven and earth. 2 million reward points. D***MN. Chapter 96. Special Body, Descent into Madness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After 2 consecutive days of heavy rain, the Murray River's water level surged and the river water became murky. The bellowing river carried mud and sand across the southern part of the Australian mainland before merging into the vast Indian Ocean. The Murray River was the largest river in Australia, traversing almost across the entire southern part of the continent. At the same time, it also nourishes countless dire beasts as it was the source of drinking water for the dire beasts. At that moment, a maglev airship flew across the sky as it sped toward the intersection between the Mildura and the Murray River. Piloting an airship like this in the Australian continent where top-level dire beasts rampaged was a very dangerous thing to do. If any of the top-level flying dire beasts were to attack it, the vessel will definitely be destroyed. However, right then, all of the students no longer cared about that because only the 2 million points remained in their minds. 2 million points. These 2 million points. Even Zhou Ji, who was first for 2 consecutive weeks, did not have such high points. That meant that as long as they can get the 2 million points, being number 1 was just around the corner. It would be insane. All of the students were in a frenzy as they rushed towards Mildura like crazy. Therefore, when Ling Jiu drove his airship over to Mildura, what he saw was this. Several dozens of maglev airships were parked above and around the Murray River. Students were either standing on top of their airships, on the ground, or hiding in the surrounding woods. Then, all of them stared at the Murray River, as victory was inevitable, and theirs to take. Yes, victory was inevitable. These 2 million points were theirs. There will be a fierce battle today. Standing on top of the airship, Ling Jiu's expression gradually became serious. Immediately after, he looked at the Murray River again. The water was very turbid, and on the surface, there was nothing special about it. However, if one was to perceive it carefully, one would find that the Murray River emitted regular waves of gene arcana. Moreover, as time passed, the gene arcana fluctuations became more and more pronounced, as if something was about to wake up. Ling Jiu, you're here too. A familiar voice rang beside his ears, and saw his roommate, Shi Gang, had also come over. Shi Gang, you're here too. Yeah, just arrived. Shi Gang nodded again with a smile. He then pointed to a sturdy black man with a large face and a height of 2 meters beside him before he introduced, "This is my new teammate, Dylan. Dylan, this is my roommate, Ling Jiu. Ni hao." Dylan took the initiative to greet him in Mandarin. Although his pronunciation was somewhat off, he could still understand it. Ni hao. By the way, Ling Jiu, what exactly is that rainbow snake the camp commandant spoke of? Shi Gang stared at the middle of the river. In any case, this thing has nothing to do with being a treasure of heaven and earth, right? Who knows? Ling Jiu shook his head slightly. However, we'll find out soon enough. As soon as he said that, the fast-flowing Murray River suddenly roiled violently. Immediately after, a series of colorful lights burst out from the river, forming a colorful rainbow over the Murray River, looking both brilliant and magnificent. It's coming out. Ling Jiu stared at the center of Murray River as Shi Gang, Dylan and the other students surrounding the area also closed in as they stared at the river. Everyone, on your guard, that thing is coming out. Remember, grab it immediately once it's out. No matter who gets it, leave this place immediately. Mine, the rainbow snake is mine. Coming. It's coming out any time now. Under the scorching gaze of everyone present, a 7-colored head surfaced from the water. It was an ethereal snake head. Why ethereal? It's because it had no physical body. The snake head was composed of a beam of 7 colors. Bright silver, blood red, sky blue, light purple, earthy yellow, black, and incandescent white. It was a snake that was composed of light. Following it was the snake's body, tail, and finally a pair of wings. The moment the snake's entire form appeared, everyone was stunned. A rainbow snake completely made out of 7-colored lights floated in the air. Its waist the side of a barrel and its length more than 50 meters long. More surprise was the pair of giant 7-colored wings that grew on its back, with a wingspan of at least 50 meters. Is this the rainbow snake? Ling Jiu was also stunned. What sort of life form is this? If it's a dire beast, why doesn't it have a physical body? Or is this scene just some bizarre natural phenomenon? It's a special body. Suddenly, a surprised voice rang out as a thin white teenager's face turned red, as he fell into a frenzy. Special metals, special wood, special liquids, special flames, special soils, special lightning, special light beams. This is a treasure of heaven and earth that is made entirely out of special substances. Jackpot. If I take it back. Heart, shut up. The white teenager was babbling on when he was interrupted by a black girl. The white teenager suddenly snapped out and realized that he had caused a gaffe, as an expression of embarrassment appeared on his face. A treasure of heaven and earth made out of 7 special substances. Ling Jiu was amazed. Special substances. He had obviously heard of them before. There were many members of the treasures of heaven and earth, but there was one type of treasure that was particularly eye-catching, that was the special substances. What was a special substance? They were things that were different from all ordinary substances, like special flames, special soils, special lightning, special plants, and the like. Examples of special flames were Ai Shangqing's undying skyfire and Shi Gang's black flames. For special soils, on the other hand, Ling Jiu currently only knew of one type of special soil, the top dot of the dot line earth dot type cold weapon, the sands of annihilation. Osmium soil. Not even close. Special substances have terrifying power and magical effects that were far beyond any conventional materials. Therefore, anyone who had a manipulation type arcana would always try to get their hands on these special substances. For a fire manipulation arcanist like Luo Jia, if she had a special flame, then her combat power would change dramatically. So, special substances were very precious, especially those powerful ones that were practically priceless, and many special substances could not be bought even if you had the money. At this moment, however, there were 7 special substances floating right before everyone's eyes. Mine. A brown-skinned Indian teenager screamed as he transformed into a lightning man and blasted towards the rainbow snake in the air. Get lost. Yet, before he could get close, a golden stream of light suddenly sprang out from the slope and stomped on the Indian teenager. The teenager yelped before flying away, crashing into the Murray River as he kicked up a splash before being washed away by the fast-flowing Murray River. "Who's that?" Everyone was startled as they looked at the golden light that a figure stood 5 meters tall with golden wings and hair, like an angel in the legends. His body exuded a golden light alongside a sacrosanct and inviolable aura as if he was even more dazzling than the sun in the sky. Christopher Adam. Chapter 97. Finally meeting, number 2 and 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, Christopher Adam. Seeing the golden figure standing in the sky, the eyes of all of the students shrank as their hearts instantly sank. The person who had come over was no one else but the one ranked number 2 for 2 consecutive times, and had the terrifying power of angel incarnate, Christopher Adam. F***CK. It's that A****. This will be a problem. Christopher is damn terrifying. Now that he's here, it's going to be much harder for us to get our hands on the rainbow snake. Damn it, should have acted earlier just now. Don't be discouraged, we have so many of us here, and we are afraid of a single Christopher. Let's strike together. Christopher Adams' appearance shocked many of the students, especially those students from Washington Bay City, who knew Christopher Adam well. They understood how terrifying he was, and their hearts became extremely heavy. Of course, they were those who thought otherwise. They admitted that Christopher Adam was indeed strong, but it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 pairs of hands. Why are they afraid of not being able to deal with one single Christopher Adam with so many of them around? Christopher Adam did not know what the others were thinking, and he did not need to know. He was like an angel, exuding his almighty power. His indifferent golden eyes swept across the area, his eyes full of disdain and contempt. Afterward, he flapped his wings and flew toward the rainbow snake in the air, ignoring everyone present. Damn you! Get him! Such a provocative action infuriated many, and amidst the furious growls, more than a dozen figures rose into the air as they launched their attacks. Lightning Release. Lightning Cutter. Kamehameha. Great Fire Annihilation. Curved Shot. Prickly Bang. Bang Punch. Bomb. A dozen or so thunderbolts, air cannons, flames, iron balls, or plasma cannon-like attacks ripped through the void as they flew toward Christopher Adam. One could imagine, if he was struck by that many attacks, no matter how strong Christopher Adam was, it was impossible to escape without sustaining serious injuries. The question was, could they hit him? The answer was obviously no. Humph, child's play. Looking at the dozen or so attacks coming his way, Christopher Adam only had a look of contempt as his wings flapped slightly before disappearing instantly. He had instantly disappeared. As if he was never there before. Christopher's counterattack has begun. These fools actually dare to provoke Christopher, they're all dead. They are dead meat. Seeing Christopher Adam disappear, the students who knew him well shuddered and knew what was about to happen next. As predicted. A golden streamer suddenly appeared and began to wander around the dozen of students as it swept across them. Boom! Boom! In less than 3 seconds, the golden streamer had returned to its original spot, while the dozen or so students were all sent flying. All of them suffered either collapsed chest, vomiting blood, broken ribs, or shattered jaws or... How else to describe that carnage? Amazing. Seriously injuring a dozen students in an instant. Is this Christopher Adam? Christopher still held back, or else these guys would have definitely died on the spot. This supersonic arcana is just damn overpowered. You don't even have a chance to react, how do you even fight? 10 times the speed of sound plus the angel incarnate arcana, that's a straight up hack I say. No matter how powerful your arcana is. How terrible its destructive power is. No matter how terrifying your body is, and no matter how many times the attack power you could muster, it is all a joke before 10 times the speed of sound. The corners of the students' mouths twitched as a deep chilling sensation overwhelmed them. Of all martial arts in the world, speed reigned supreme. With Christopher Adam being capable of reaching 10 times the speed of sound at 3,400 meters per second, who can hit him? Who can fight against a person like Christopher Adam? The watching students shuddered, and for the first time, they had clearly felt the terrifying deterrence coming from the rankings. Is this the power of the second-ranked Christopher Adam? It's just too terrifying. Unsurprisingly, this rainbow snake will be his. Can't help that. The moment he appeared, the game was over. Yeah, unless the number 1 Joji appears, no one can stop him. Not even the third-ranked Lingjio, or the fourth-ranked Hirano Hatake. It's a pity that we can only look on as such a treasure of heaven and earth gets taken just like that. This sort of helplessness is really annoying. Just give up. If we rush forward now, we'll end up like those guys. Looking at the dozen or so students lying on the ground groaning in pain, the originally bitter bystanders all shuddered, and their bitterness disappeared in an instant. Yeah. What was there to be bitter about? Compared to these guys, they were not injured at the very least. What is that guy doing? Just when these spectators felt fortunate that they were not impulsive, someone yelled and the rest looked over. A young man standing on a maglev airship slowly flew over before Christopher Adam. What is he doing? Is he thinking of fighting Christopher Adam for the rainbow snake? Hey, another desperate fool. There are already examples laying on the ground, and still, he did not learn anything. Seeing this, the spectators sneered. Standing up without strength to show was simply just seeking death, it was a stupid move and was merely asking for trouble. At this moment, the person who came before Christopher Adam was Lingjio. Lingjio stood on the top of the maglev airship, looked at the second-ranked Christopher Adam who had everyone cowering in the eyes. You. Christopher Adam did not immediately attack but frowned a little instead. You want to take my rainbow snake too? He had met Lingjio in the underground room 12 and knew that Lingjio was ranked third, hence he was a relatively difficult opponent to deal with. Your rainbow snake. Lingjio flicked his finger, smiling. The rainbow snake had only just been born, this was witnessed by everyone with their own eyes since when did it become yours? When I said it's mine, it's mine. Christopher Adam looked on indifferently. There's nothing I've wanted that I've never gotten. Know your place and buzz off. Talk is useless, let's fight. Chapter 98. Head-on collision, airdrop torpedo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, that guy's bonkers. Seeing Lingjio standing out, Gang's expression changed drastically. That's Christopher Adam, what is he thinking? Does he have a death wish? Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Gang, your roommate is too reckless. Gang's partner, Dylan shook his head and said. Christopher is known as the number 1 young man of Washington Bay City, Lingjio is not his match. I also know that he is not Christopher Adams' match, but what can I do? Gang smiled bitterly. He had already rushed over, I can't be pulling him back, right? Well, with things as it is, we can only hope Christopher will show mercy. Dylan shook his head. He was from Washington Bay City, and he had fought against Christopher Adam. He knew Christopher Adams' strength, it was the sort of strength that had caused him to despair until today. Humph, biting off more than you can chew. Hearing Lingjio's words, Christopher Adams snorted as he flapped his wings and charged at Lingjio. His speed was just too fast, and crossing the distance of tens of meters in an instant. When his body had already reached Lingjio, his afterimage still remained in place. He's dead meat. That guy is dead. All of the spectating students shook their heads and sighed. No one thought that Ling Jiao could defeat Christopher Adam, as both were on two very different levels. However, the following scene dropped everyone's jaw. Just as Christopher Adam was less than a meter away from Ling Jiao, the latter slowly raised his right hand to meet the attack. Crack! The fists of both sides collided against one another like two high-speed trains crashing into each other. As a thunderclap rang out, a powerful shock wave centered around the two blasted out. Bomb! Like a raging typhoon, all of the surrounding trees, grass, and even the waters of the Murray River were blown away, causing waves to kick up. They then saw the two colliding figures flying backward at the same time and only stopping after flying more than 10 meters away. Even footing. The spectators were stunned, and looked at the two figures floating in the air with incredulous expressions, as a look of disbelief filled their eyes. Ling Jiao's that amazing? Shi Gang could not help but gasp. For him to actually face Christopher Adam head-on and is not on the back foot. Although he knew Ling Jiao possessed a mysterious power-type arcana, he did not think Ling Jiao would be Christopher Adam's match. Supersonic arcana. 10 times the speed of sound. To put that into words, 3.4 kilometers per second. This speed is just simply terrifying. At this terrifying speed, even Christopher Adams' casual punch would carry unparalleled destructive power. After all, kinetic energy equals 1/2 mv2, and if the mass is fixed, the faster the speed, the greater the kinetic energy, the greater the kinetic energy, the more devastating the destructive power. However, even with such terrifying power, Ling Jiao actually met Christopher Adams' attack. How strong was Ling Jiao? Shi Gang, the strength of your roommate is above mine. Dylan stared at Ling Jiao as he slowly said that sentence. Is that so? Shi Gang was shocked. Dylan had the best super strength and super defense meat shield, and his strength was not comparable to Ling Jiao. I'm nowhere as good as him. Dylan said. You sure are something. Christopher Adam looked at Ling Jiao, saying. However, you think you can compete with me with that? You're too naive. To tell you the truth, the distance was just too short just now, and I did not even reach the speed of sound. I know. Ling Jiao said lightly. Although you have the supersonic arcana, it's impossible for you to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound in an instant. You need enough time and distance to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound, right? Christopher Adam was silent, and he did not deny what Ling Jiao said. Even a high-speed rail would need 2 to 3 minutes to go from standstill to 200 kilometers per hour. For the same reason, it would need some time for him to accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound. While he had the supersonic arcana, and he was much lighter, smaller, and faster than a high-speed rail. It would take less time for him to accelerate to that sort of speed, but it still took time. To accelerate to 10 times the speed of sound. It was outright impossible. So, while the supersonic arcana may look overpowered, but it has its own Achilles heel. As long as you met someone that counters you, that arcana is as good as useless. Ling Jiao said lightly. You talk too much sh*t. Christopher Adam flicked the wings on his back and flew straight into the sky to a height of several hundred meters before stopping. He then reversed direction, and under gravitational acceleration, he fell like a falling meteorite. Futile struggle. Ling Jiao shook his head slightly and did not dodge or counterattack. He just stood there as Christopher Adam shot toward him. Ling Jiao, move. Upon seeing this, Shi Gang quickly yelled a warning. With Christopher Adam sweeping down like this under the acceleration of gravity, his speed would only get faster and faster. If he was struck by the attack, the consequences would be unimaginable. Don't worry. Ling Jiao seemed to completely ignore Christopher Adams' falling charge and even had the mood to smile at Shi Gang in a relaxed manner. F***ck, he's nuts. This scene caused Shi Gang, Dylan, and the other spectators' scalps to tingle. Bloody hell, he still had time to talk nonsense at this moment. Does he really have a death wish? Whoosh! Just as the spectators were frightened, a powerful rip in the air came from the sky, and everyone looked up. Everyone saw a golden streamer swooping down alongside a wave of air, but it was not any wave of air, but instead a sonic boom cloud. Sonic boom cloud. When an object breaks through the speed of sound, the surrounding air would be compressed due to the increase in air will behind it, causing the water vapors to condense into tiny water droplets and forming a ring of clouds. This was the sonic boom cloud. The appearance of the sonic boom cloud was enough to prove that Christopher Adams' speed had broken through the sound barrier, and was still rising sharply. When he accelerates to the front of Lingzhou, what sort of speed will that be? That's bloody terrifying. Christopher Adam is more than 10 times more terrifying than before. How can he stop him this time? The spectators' eyes lit up as they stared at Lingzhou and the golden streamer charging down from the sky as they all looked forward to what will happen next. However, what no one expected was that the moment Christopher Adam was about to strike Lingzhou, disappeared. Yes. He had bizarrely disappeared. Where did he go? Everyone was stunned. Where did he go? Christopher Adam was stunned too, and before he could react, he fell headfirst into the rapid Murray River. Dash. Chapter 99. Head. On Beatdown, help with appraisal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Like a torpedo explosion, alongside a loud bang, a massive wave was kicked up as the rapid flowing Murray River seemed to stop flowing for a moment. It took a good moment before it returned to normal and continued to flow. Splash! Christopher Adam rushed out of the water and floated in the air, but at this moment, he looked like a sorry lot. His handsome blonde hair was covered with silt and his gold wings exuding an immaculate aura had become wings of mud while his entire person was soaking wet, looking as miserable as one can get. Starred. Fire raged in Christopher Adams' eyes as he stared at Lingzhou like a furious lion wanting to swallow the latter whole and devour the world. Christopher Adam was furious, extremely furious. Has he been so miserable ever since he awakened his arcana? No. Never. Yet today. He had all of his face. Lingzhou, show yourself. Christopher Adam growled angrily. Give me face to face, what's the point in sneaking around? Fine. I'll fulfill your wish. Lingzhou appeared in mid-air. Die. Seeing Lingzhou, Christopher Adam roared as he flapped his wings and charged. A golden light shone brightly around his body as the wings on his back were like sharp blades as it cut through the air, seemingly able to slice through anything. Crossing the distance of hundreds of meters in an instant, Christopher Adam raised his fist and punched at Lingzhou. The Iron Fist. It was his one and only technique. It was also the strongest technique. With his supersonic speed, his pair of iron fists could rip through a Class 6 dire beast, and he now wanted to use these two fists to defeat Lingzhou. Good timing. Lingzhou took a step back as he slowly lifted his right fist. His body suddenly took on a dazzling bright silver color as if he had taken a mercury form. In an instant, Lingzhou became a 2-meter-tall robot. What arcana was that? Alloy form. Is this Lingzhou's power-type arcana? The spectator's eyes widened, Sure Gang's eyes also widened. Although he knew Lingzhou had such an arcana, it was the first time he saw the tungsten form. No matter what arcana you have, you are not my match. Christopher Adam roared as he blasted his fist out. Crack. The golden fist instantly collided with the silver fist, and following that was a massive thunderclap, causing everyone's ears to ring as they involuntarily covered them. The raging waves rampaged all over and the charging Christopher Adam was sent flying backwards, tumbling back for several dozen meters before finally stabilizing himself. On the other hand, Ling Jiao stood there unmoving. With just a single exchange, supremacy was established. You. Christopher Adams' expression changed dramatically as he felt an aching pain coming from his right arm. When he looked at Ling Jiao standing there motionless once again, his eyes were full of disbelief. It's not that I'm bragging, but in terms of strength, you don't even deserve to be my sandal-bearer. Ling Jiao stepped on air as he walked toward Christopher Adams step by step. His silver body was shining all over as he took confident steps like a silver-armored god of war from the primordial heavens. The speed that you are so proud of is nothing but a joke before me. Ling Jiao took a step forward, and appeared before Christopher Adams like a phantom as he shot out a straight hook. Flying thunder smash. Dush. Christopher Adams' chest instantly sank as he puked out a mouthful of blood and flew backward uncontrollably. He then tumbled straight into the Murray River, and was washed away by the rapids. No one knew whether he was still alive or dead. The entire place fell silent. All of the students looked at Ling Jiao, who was standing in the air, like an ancient god. They felt their throat dry as they all gulped their saliva back. He lost. Christopher actually lost. His strength is stronger than Christopher. Is he still human? 2 hits. He took down Christopher in just 2 hits. Monster. All of the spectators discussed as their disdain and taunts disappeared, and were replaced by shock and incredulity. The same was true of Shi Gang as well. I know he was strong. Shi Gang smiled bitterly. But I did not expect him to be that strong. You people from Huaxia are all monsters. Dylan huffed. The others may be monsters, but I'm sure as hell not. The gap between me and them is just too big. Shi Gang smiled bitterly. Ling Jiao did not know nor care what others thought. He looked at all of them and the meaning in his eyes was obvious. Anyone else? The moment the students' eyes met his, all of them lowered their heads knowingly. With Ling Jiao beating Christopher Adams in just 2 hits, they admitted that they were not his match, and stood aside. Ling Jiao nodded with satisfaction before flying to the rainbow snake floating in the air. Although the rainbow snake was made out of 7 special substances, it was a dead object without its own consciousness. Ling Jiao waved his hand and kept it inside his dimensional bag before leaving straight away. Huh. He finally left. That's bloody terrifying. When I met him in the eyes earlier, I felt a little out of breath. A pity. That's a set of special substances, and it was taken away just like that. Ah, what a loss. Ling Jiao, I'll remember you. Vush vush. Not long after Ling Jiao left, a series of figures appeared one after another. They were the students who came late, and when they learned that the rainbow snake had already been captured by Ling Jiao, anger raged in their chest. 2 million points. Gone just like that. Damn it. Where did he go to? I'd advise you guys not to go look for him. Why? You lot can't beat him. Get lost. What happened after that Ling Jiao had no idea as he went straight back to the training camp. Although there was still time, there was no longer any need to hunt. He had killed 98 Class 6 dire beasts on Thursday, and on Friday, he had hunted 102 of them. The number of dire beasts he had hunted on the past 2 days was 200 in total, worth a total of 2 million points, and once adding the extra 2 million points from capturing the rainbow snake. He had a total of 4 million points. Ling Jiao believed that no one could surpass him now, and if that was the case, why waste time hunting the dire beasts? Not like he could sell it for money anyway. When he came to the back office department, Ling Jiao handed in his harvest, and just when he was about to leave, he was told the camp commandant was looking for him. Commandant. Ling Jiao came to the camp commandant's office. Ling Jiao, you've gotten the rainbow snake. The commandant motioned for Ling Jiao to sit down, and then asked with a smile. Yes, sir. Very good. The commandant nodded, and smiled. First of all, congratulations on getting the rainbow snake. Thank you. Ling Jiao smiled shyly. While he could act without restraint before the students, he would be better off keeping a lower profile before a boss-like figure like the camp commandant. Ling Jiao, if it's convenient for you, can I help you appraise the rainbow snake? The camp commandant said with interest. Of course. Ling Jiao nodded, and with a wave of his hand, he took out the rainbow snake. Chapter 100. 7 Top Tier, Ultimate Treasures. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as the rainbow snake appeared, it exuded a dazzling rainbow color and dazzled the entire room. With a wave of his hand, the rainbow snake obediently flew over to him. Immediately afterward, the camp commandant grabbed and pulled a few times as the rainbow snake came apart in an instant, transforming into 7 different materials. This is the true face of the 7 special substances. The camp commandant said with a smile. Ling Jiao's eyes widened, and the 7 substances that were suspended before him were a piece of silver metal, a piece of scarlet wood, a blue water orb, a purple flame, yellow soil, a bolt of black lightning, and a white light orb. Amazing! Ling Jiao could not help but marvel at them. When they were still in the form of the rainbow snake, they were just 7 colored lights and were far different from what they were now. Special substances are the essence of nature. The camp commandant smiled. We'll look at them one by one. First of all, the silver metal. The camp commandant took the silver metal in his hand and squeezed it lightly, and the metal did not even move. The camp commandant nodded slightly. Very high hardness, and is not much weaker than the hardest Xanderman alloy, and its flexibility is also good. Level. Top-tier treasure of heaven and earth. Top-tier treasure of heaven and earth. Ling Jiao was shocked. How valuable was a top-tier treasure of heaven and earth again? If he sold it to the company, he could sell it for 100 billion and 1,000 contribution points. 100 billion. 1,000 contribution points. That was just outrageous. Then there's this piece of wood. The camp commandant took up the scarlet wood and kneaded it gently as a look of surprise appeared on his face. Its life force is very abundant, and he did not know what the camp commandant did, and the scarlet wood that was originally the size of an apple grew at a speed visible to the eye. It could also absorb gene arcana to hasten its growth. This is very impressive, an excellent wood-type cold weapon. The camp commandant then exclaimed, also, the hardness of this wood is very high and is not much weaker than the Xanderman alloy. It is also very dense. Level. Top-tier treasure of heaven and earth. Another top-tier treasure of heaven and earth. Ling Jiao was beyond excited. Then this blob of liquid. The camp commandant put down the scarlet wood, and then picked up the blue liquid to appraise it. It's dense and very heavy, and also highly corrosive. Its corrosive ability is even more terrifying than aqua regia. It is strong enough to melt most of the substances in the world, very dangerous. Level. Top-notch heaven and earth treasure. The temperature of this flame is very high, and the color has reached purple and is close to being transparent. This reflects the extreme temperature, and is about 7,000 degrees Celsius. Normally, the temperature of a fire is determined by its color. A red-orange flame is about 3,000 degrees Celsius, a yellow-white flame is about 4,000 degrees Celsius, while a cyan-blue flame is about 5,000 to 6,000 degrees Celsius, and a purple flame is generally above 7,000 degrees Celsius. A flame that's above 7,000 degrees Celsius is already a top-tier treasure of heaven and earth. Look at this soil then. As all of the materials were appraised one by one, even Ling Jiao got a little numb from his excitement. All 7 items were all top-tier treasures of heaven and earth. 700 billion yuan plus 7,000 contribution points. It was just too incredible. Ling Jiao, even I have to envy your luck. All 7 of these special substances are top-tier treasures of heaven and earth. The camp commandant exclaimed, moreover, all of them have one common characteristic. Growth. In other words, as long as they are infused with gene arcana, they can grow. Growth, for a weapon, is a very rare attribute. That means it could grow from small to large, weak to strong, which will be of great convenience to its owner. All right. All of them have been appraised. Keep them safe. As for what you want to do with them, that's your problem. Whether you keep it for your own collection, or to sell to the company, do as you please. Thank you, sir. Ling Jiu thanked him sincerely. But I have to remind you. The camp commandant suddenly looked serious. Obviously, this is a set of heavenly and earthly treasures, and their value is totally comparable to an ultimate treasure of heaven and earth. An ultimate treasure of heaven and earth is something even a level 7 or level 8 arcanists will be tempted with. So, try not to expose them, or else it will bring you no end of trouble. Understood, the camp commandant said solemnly. Understood, sir. Ling Jiu nodded quickly. You may leave. Yes, sir. Coming out from the camp commandant's office, the sky was already dark. The stars in the sky were shining bright as Ling Jiu could not help but breathe a long sigh. The sky in this world is really nice, and the stars so beautiful. Wahahaha. I've struck the jackpot. Ultimate treasure of heaven and earth. Those are stuff worth tens of thousands of contribution points. I'm so damn lucky. Ling Jiu wished that he could just laugh out loud. Each of these 7 special substances is a top-tier treasure of heaven and earth. If sold separately, each would net him at least 700,007,000 contribution points. However, if put together, that was the ultimate treasure of heaven and earth, and its value was over 1 trillion with tens of thousands of contribution points. Ling Jiu had just struck a proverbial windfall. Haha, forget training tonight. Time to sleep. LO. Time passed in a blink of an eye and it was time for the weekly leaderboard update, so all of the students gathered in the central square again. Ling Jiu, you're sure to get first place this time. Shi Gang said with an envious look. Just the reward for completing the ad hoc mission alone is 2 million points, so first place is definitely yours. I'm screwed though, although I found a new teammate, and my score had improved compared to last week, but it's still not enough. Just gotta work hard. Ling Jiu patted Shi Gang on the shoulder. At this moment, many students were watching the rankings while also observing Ling Jiu at the same time. Ling Jiu did not have a particularly eye-catching reputation, even if he was ranked 9th the first time, and 3rd the second time, not many paid attention to him. After all, everyone's eyes were on the first and second place, who would care about the third? However, in the Battle of Murray River, Ling Jiu had decisively defeated Christopher Adam and completed the mission by taking the rainbow snake, thus, he became completely famous. He is Ling Jiu. A very ordinary-looking guy, how did he beat Christopher? He actually got the rainbow snake, damn his dogsh *t luck. Humph, even if he gets first place, it's because of that rainbow snake. He'll be beaten down next time, and overtaken by Zhou Ji and Christopher Adam again. It's been updated. The leaderboard has been updated. Someone yelled and all of the students looked at the leaderboard at the same time. Sure enough, Ling Jiu is number 1. Damn, his score is just damn high. Just a lucky B** starred, what's there to hype anyway? No, look carefully, his result is just ridiculous. Isn't it 2 million odd? What's there to see? What? 4 million. You gotta be kidding me.